twin sister.
Her name is May.
Another incident.
Torben, Kelnaka, She...
I look here. Let it go, May. Can we see her a little? I'm with you. And us too.
How many
Outside the fortress walls.
The rules of...
Little girls who run away from home.
Mama!
Don't you think so, Coral? For our covenant. Speak your mind, Coral.
A firm hand.
Of existence. Wield to others. And tonight, at the ceremony, girls, excellent, May.
We begin in the past on the planet Brendok, 16 years before the events of the two-part premiere. The Earth is lush and green, with vast woods teeming with species. We see a young Osha examining a butterfly-like creature beneath a bunta tree. She utilizes the force to momentarily retain it in the air before releasing it. It flaps its wings briefly before halting again, this time frozen by her twin sister May's force abilities. Osha shouts out to her, prompting May to release the monster. May claims she always seeks for Osha under the bunta tree and cautions that it is dangerous. Osha says only if someone eats it. May freezes another monster with the force, prompting Osha to reprimand her sister. Osha reveals she fled away because she did not want to participate in the ascension ritual. May encourages her not to worry since they will do it together. On the way back, the girls are confronted by a Zabrak woman named Mother Coral, who chastises them for violating the regulations of leaving their castle walls. She takes the girls back, claiming it is for their safety. Jedi Master Sol observes the group leave from a distance in the woods. Osha, May, and Coral return to their lively town, where the girls are greeted cordially, bowed to, and given presents. Mother Coral promises they can enjoy delights like spice cream after the ascension ritual. Mother Anastasia, the girls' mother, agrees to let them have the snacks. She sends the girls out to their training. Coral tells Anastasia that the females are slipping away again, and they are both concerned about the visiting Jedi. They assume the Jedi are further inland, ignorant of Sol in the jungle. Coral is concerned about the safety of their coven, as Osha regularly sneaks out. She tells Anastasia to be more forceful because the twins are not typical youngsters. Anastasia later gives a lecture about the Force. However, she refers to it as the thread, and it is what holds everything together. She criticizes individuals who utilize the thread as a force power. It's extremely similar to the path of the open hand, more information here. The thread connects individuals to their destiny and to one another. Anastasia demonstrates the thread before informing Osha and May that their ascension ceremony would be filled with the strength of many. However, she is interrupted when the females begin to argue. Their mother pushes them with the force and tells them to resist. May succeeds, while Osha fails. Coral criticizes Osha for this. There is a sudden rumbling noise outside the room. Coral rushes to check what it is as Anastasia sends the girls to their rooms. The girls sit with their mother, and Osha eventually informs Anastasia that she does not want to undergo the ascension, which is how they become witches. Their mother brings the girls' hands together and explains that the ascension is about journeying through fear. They must give up a portion of themselves to become the power of many rather than the power of one. Anastasia warns Osha that the galaxy does not accept witches like them and directs him to another route. Later that night, two servants prepare Osha and May for the ascension. Osha and May argue again because she refuses to show her sister her sketchbook. Osha does not wish to do anything with her sister. She is reluctant to divulge everything. They do not share the same identity. Osha mentions that they are the only children here, which causes the attendants assisting them to halt and exchange glances. Osha is curious about what lies beyond Brendok, but May claims she has all she requires right here. It is now time to begin the ceremony. Coral leads a group of witches in the ceremony until Mother Anastasia appears and moves through the gathering. Since their coven was banished, this is the first ascension ceremony. These ladies were seen as having evil power, and they were persecuted. Their coven came alive with the twins' birth. To take control of their destiny, Osha and May appear before their coven. Together, the ladies chant, drawing strength from the force. May is blessed with power and has her face marked by Anastasia as she delivers her vows to their coven. The rise of May is finished. Osha, on the other hand, falters and hesitates when it comes time for her vows. The ritual is cut short before Anastasia can give Osha her power. It's the arrival of the Jedi. To keep the girls safe from the Jedi, the witches have surrounded them. Anastasia orders her coven members to put down their weapons so she can personally welcome the Jedi. She warns against using violence. Sol, Indara, Torben, and Kelnaka, who May is chasing 16 years later, arrive as the four Jedi. Greeting the witches, Indara introduces Torben as her Padawan and herself, Sol, and Kelnaka as masters. Anastasia doesn't think the Jedi when she states that they believe the planet to be deserted. Indara worries that these witches are educating kids. She begins by quoting Republic legislation. Anastasia also doesn't hesitate to remind out that since Brendok is not a member of the Republic, it is not bound by its rules. Coral reiterates that there aren't any kids present. Osha wants to see the Jedi's robes and sabers, so he creeps forward to catch a peek during this. Kelnaka tells his friends that he can smell the chicks. Indara cries out for them to emerge. Osha emerges ahead of the Jedi and approaches Sol. They request to meet May, who then comes out with Anastasia's blessing. May had a mark from the Ascension ritual on her forehead, which Sol notices was absent this morning. Coral discovers they have been surveilled. The witches scream at the Jedi, accusing him of attempting to kidnap their offspring. After taking off his lightsaber, Sol gives it to Osha. He states that he believes she would be a skilled Jedi. Osha turns to her mother and says she wants to go with him. Torben collapses to the ground as darkness engulfs his eyes and turns them completely black. If the Jedi don't leave, Anastasia threatens to kill him. Osha begs her mother to allow her to demonstrate her abilities to the Jedi. Indara requests permission from Anastasia to test Osha at the very least. Torben is released by Anastasia, who also promises to bring Osha to the Jedi the next day. Anastasia consents to Sol's wish for May as well. The Jedi then depart. Anastasia meets with her advisors later that evening. Anastasia believes the Jedi should test the females, while Coral wants to attack them. Coral is fiercely opposed to this notion, but Anastasia asserts that the females will be put to the test and that she has the last say. Coral retorts, saying that Anastasia had produced the females inside of her. She worries about what may occur if the Jedi found out how Anastasia actually created the girls. Their elder, Nasa, interrupts them. If the girls pass the test, the old woman adds, the coven loses them. They have to fail the Jedi's exam if they want the females to stay. Anastasia instructs the girls to deliberately fail the Jedi exam the following day. In order to keep them close to their moms and one another, May instructs her sister to carry out the task. Osha claims Jedis are excellent and want to be one. This isn't about bad or good, Anastasia declares. This has to do with power and who gets to utilize it. Coral arrives to collect them and bring the girls to their ship's Jedi camp. Before they arrive, May makes Osha vow and orders her to lie at all costs. Osha witnesses Kelnaka fixing a speeder as May is being tested. She walks over to talk to the Wookiee. However, Torben arrives for Osha after May completes her test. As soon as the Padawan takes her blood sample inside, she questions him about his lightsaber. After that, Sol and Indara start her exam. It's similar to the Jedi Council exam Anakin Skywalker did in Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, when he had to identify the pictures on a screen he couldn't see. In the first image, Osha lies, and Sol responds by lying as well, claiming to have the correct answer. They repeat this on the second response, and Osha unintentionally reveals that she is aware that Sol is lying. As he leads her aside, Sol explains to her how the Jedi discovered him. Although he recognizes her uniqueness, he is afraid to part from her family. When he was tested at the age of 4, he was as well. She's intrigued because there are so many more kids out there, and he discovered more kids just like them. She has only ever been around her sister's kids. Her goal is to become a Jedi, she informs Sol. She is unable to look at May after that since she knows what occurred. The twins talk to their mothers that evening. Osha argues that what she did was justified and justifies her conduct. Coral is furious at May and puts the blame on Sol and his mind games. At last, Osha admits to them the truth. She wants to travel the galaxy, live her own life free from May, and become a Jedi. She has no desire to become a witch. Coral had to remove an enraged May outside before she can choke her sister. Osha now extends her apology to her mother. Osha is then given the option to draw the thread when Anastasia stops her. It will be Osha's route to follow, but she will never see her family again. Osha declares her desire to become a Jedi while giving her mother a hug. Anastasia still needs to talk to her advisors, but she will bring Osha's wishes up during the conversation. She bids Osha farewell. Osha packs her belongings in her room in preparation for her departure. When May shows there, she says her sister is unable to go. Osha's now stranded there. May responds by threatening to murder Osha before she can depart. May grabs Osha's sketchbook and leaves the room, keeping Osha inside. Osha's only way out is through the door, which May lights on fire and utilizes to ignite. Osha escapes the chamber by crawling down the vents, leading her into a passage at the rear. As the fire spreads to the mechanical portion of the stronghold their house is constructed inside, she can hear the witches screaming all around her. Just as an explosion occurs close to her, she spots May. It separates the girls by removing a portion of a bridge. Declaring their mother dead, May holds Osha responsible for the whole situation. Unexpectedly, Sol dashes to find the two females. When the bridge falls, Sol jumps off. May tumbles into the abyss below as he grabs hold of Osha's hand. The two of them escape the flames after he helps Osha to safety. The witches are dead and scattered all around the building, their bodies laying on the ground. Osha screams for her mother as soon as she sees her body. As their coven burns, Sol pulls her away from the horror and into safety. Later, on the Jedi's ship, Osha calls for her mother as she wakes up. She is calmed by Torben, Indara, Sol, and Kelnaka. Sol informs her that everything was destroyed by May's fire. Osha starts to grieve for her now lost family. He extends an invitation to become her Padawan. She clings to Sol in an embrace while crying, and he assures her that she won't experience this again. As the episode comes to a close, May is searching beneath the bunta tree for her missing sister.